John, thank you so much for joining me for a few minutes. I appreciate your time. Congratulations on a continuation of season three of Chucky.
Thank you very much. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, I'm really excited to chat with you because not I'm surprised, but I'm pleasantly surprised at how well Chucky has done on television. A lot of times, some of these horror icons don't necessarily transfer very well over to TV just because of how iconic they are in film. What has made Chucky be so versatile to be able to come over to television and be successful?
Well, I think part of it is that even before we even got to TV, over the course of 30 some years and seven movies, we've, had a certain consistency in our mythology. We have these characters and the same actors playing them over the course of many years and decades, even. So I feel like, in a way, the movies themselves were kind of a dry run or a rehearsal without knowing it, because I didn't really I didn't think of taking it to television until I worked on Hannibal myself, and I really loved that experience. And I thought that what Brian Fuller did with bringing that character of Hannibal Lecter, who'd been a movie cinema icon, and what he did with it in television was really fascinating and brilliant and instructive. So working on that show was when I first started thinking about it. So I think, like I said, I think it's just that we'd kind of been doing it already, that the movies themselves are kind of long form storytelling with the kind of consistency that you usually only see in television. With the same, we're seeing characters played by the same actors developing and their personalities and relationships evolving over the course of decades. So I think that's why it turned out that Chucky worked quite well in the television format.
And I think one of the challenges really is it's the length of life for characters, which is leads me to my next question really, is are any challenges of who are you going to keep on as far as casting and who do you kill off? The first part of season three had a big surprise for me and one of the people you guys decided to let go. The whole time I was like, oh, someone's going to come in, someone's going to save her, it's going to be okay, and then no, it did not
Miss
happen.
Fairchild, you mean? Yeah.
Yes, I didn't want to just in case, but yeah, Miss Fairchild. I was very surprised by that, but I was very curious. With that happening, how do you make sure you keep the right characters to keep the story going? Because as seasons progress, we want to still be invested in certain characters.
Of course, yeah. Well, one our show is a horror comedy, but it's really important from time to time to lay claim to the horror side, and remind the audience that there are real stakes going on and it's not just fun and games. And so and that's another advantage of being in television, that we had time over the course of 3 years to develop the character of Miss Fairchild, who was played so well by the actress Annie Briggs. She's just such a lovable character. And the only adult that was really in these kids' corner, mainly these kids had horrible parents that that really kind of deserved to get killed by Chucky, as it turned out. But Miss Fairchild was different. So I knew that killing Miss Fairchild after having established her as this beloved character for a few years was going to land emotionally, that it was going to hit the characters themselves and create a new sense of urgency and fury to fuel their desire for revenge against Chucky.
It's interesting to watch writers sometimes make TV shows or movies that coincide with things that are going in the real world. How appropriate is it that in 2024 we have Chucky in the White House and it seems all that much more plausible?
Yeah, it's not really that much more absurd than some of the things that have happened in the recent past in the White House. Yeah, it's I've been thinking about doing something in the White House for a long time, because even separate from Chucky, I was really interested in the lore over the years about ghosts in the White House. I just always thought that the White House would be an interesting haunted house story. So when it came time to find a new milieu, a new arena for Chucky to operate in, and that's something that's really important to me. And I think one of the reasons that the franchise has remained relevant in pop culture is that we switch it up. We just always want to change it with every movie, with every season of the show. So there's just something inherently delightful about the notion of Chucky wreaking havoc in that house, you know?
Yeah, and the way you set it up was fantastic. Very quickly before I let you go, give me a little tease. What can fans expect in the rest of season 3?
Well, they, can expect the usual Chucky brand of mega violence and imaginative violence, because that's something that's important to Chucky and to Tiffany. It's their job. They love killing people, and it's an art to them. So we have that to look forward to. But, as set up in the first half of the season, Chucky is dealing with his mortality in a way that he never has before. He's aging and dying. How's that going to play out? At the same time, Tiffany is on death row in Texas. That seems like that may not work out well for her. What's going to happen there? So we have that to look forward to. And also in the teenage characters, the kids' relationships are evolving. Now they're all 17 going on 18, and Jake and Devon are ready to take their romance to the next level. But Chucky doesn't really like these kids to be happy. So we have that to see, what is the path to romantic happiness for Jake and Devon? How is that going to play out? We have that to look forward to as well.
Yeah, you guys left it off at a good point, and I really look forward to jump back in. Before I let you go, I just gotta tell you that chandelier scene, brilliant. I did not expect the whole peel thing to happen, and when it did, I was like, that was good. That was really good.
Yeah, well,
Imaginative.
we wanted to do something special for Sarah Sherman, specifically because so much of her own persona and her comedy that people are familiar with Saturday Night Live and her stand-up is horror, and often horrible things related to her face. So I realized I got to do something with your head. It's got to be something with your head, and so I'm glad that worked well, because I wouldn't want to disappoint Sarah Sherman or her fans.
No, absolutely not. Imaginative kills. I'm gonna remember that that phrase for a while. Don, thank you so much for your time and talking about Chucky with me. That means a lot.
Thank you so much, Manny. Nice to meet you. Thank you
Bye.
for supporting it.